and is helping to transform the ways that cities, counties, and state governments use recycle codes in their communities. Based in Toronto, Jeff previously led technology sales and market development for Triton Digital in Canada, where he was responsible for overseeing and promoting a fully integrated end-to-end software service solution to top publishing companies. He holds a BA from the University of Windsor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the warm Illinois welcome. It's great to be here. I'm falling in love more and more with the state, and I officially have a work visa for America because I'm Canadian. So maybe I'll move here. Maybe I'll move to Chicago or one of these awesome counties. But thank you for the warm welcome and reception. This has been a deal in the making for a long time, and we're incredibly grateful to the EPA for their support and their trust as we launch Illinois as our second full statewide program. And if you saw James's announcement at lunch yesterday, this is an extended year partnership. I'm going to talk a little bit about what we've done in New Jersey to maybe calm some nerves that we have done this before and get you excited. But we're really excited that Illinois has taken a leadership in providing something fairly to every community possible. And I think that's really what we get to leave with today is that now every community, you don't have to budget for this, you don't have to go to RFP for this, you don't have to procure this and go through all the purchasing channels and all that, which we all love so much. You just have to sign up with us and work with us. And we're really excited to launch. And this was really important. The ink is barely dry on the contract. We signed off on it just under 2 weeks ago, and Sue and I started texting like crazy, like, can we still get in on the conference? Can we get a booth? And I really just want to really start before we get into the details of Recycle Coach and thank Sue and thank Claire for all the amazing work you've done to put this conference together. It's not an easy feat, so can we give them a round of applause for all their hard work? And of course, Nathan, you've got big shoes to fill. I'm excited to work with you. So this is a big deal. We're implementing across 1,200 municipalities potentially, 103 counties potentially. Have we done this before? Has this little Canadian company done it? Well, we have. We've actually been in New Jersey since 2017. It's available across all of their 564 cities and 21 counties. And we have about 85% of their communities on board since 2017, which is really great. 2.3 million residents in a state of just under 9 million have accessed Recycle Coach in the last 12 months. And it's clear and accessible recycling and waste information for all residents, hyper-local to where they live. And what's been really great about that partnership is we started tackling other environmental issues. And so last year we signed a strategic partnership with New Jersey Clean Communities, who is responsible for all the single-use plastic legislation that was in the state. And that's one thing I really am proud of how our technology is built, is we truly remain agnostic to what legislation is. We don't come into a market and say how you should do things, how packaging should work, how EPR should work. We're here to listen, absorb what is happening locally, countywide, statewide, and adapt our technology for your needs. And so this Clean Communities partnership is really a testament to our flexibility of here is a challenge in the state, we can come with solutions. So it's also a big deal because next year, our company, our parent company, Municipal Media, is celebrating 25 years. And I don't think there was a mobile app 25 years ago, because there wasn't. We actually started as a print business. We printed waste and recycling calendars for municipalities, oops labels, magnets, stickers, and we still do print 37 municipalities' waste and recycling calendars. We design them, we project manage them, we send them out to print. If anybody did any printing during COVID, you know there was a huge supply chain issue for paper. And what's really interesting in our communities where we still have the print product, when they've tried to take it away or lessen it, the phone rings. So once it's been in a community a long time, that calendar, that's the wall calendar in the cupboard next to the fridge. And so as much as we don't spend a lot of time on our print business, it's still there. But in 2011, we introduced the first industry waste app called MyWaste. And in 2016, we became Recycle Coach to respond to the need for domestic processing, lowering contamination and recycling contamination. But over the last couple of years, and since I've joined the company, I didn't want our name to fool you. Recycle Coach can enable all of your waste streams. We know that you're responsible for more than just curbside recycling. Electronics waste, food waste, bulky, batteries, etc. And so our system is designed to handle any schedules, any waste streams that you need to communicate to your residents. So what is it? What is Recycle Coach? And we're really excited that we go to market kind of with two different solutions. And I'm gonna play a video for a moment, but here's your friends at Ecology Action Center. We've worked with them for many years with our web app right on their website, so it's integrated via JavaScript. And on the Ecology Action, they actually have looks like a county execution where you drop down and you pick Bloomington or Normal, what municipality you live in, and it brings you to your schedule and to your configured what goes where tool. But then what happens is you're able to promote your residents to download the free Recycle Coach app. And it's the same experience where you put in your address and you get your municipality's hyperlocal stuff. So I'm going to show you a quick video. So you don't have to hear me talk this whole time, but of our education team explaining what our mobile app does and all the features. So I'm going to turn up my volume really loud, and hopefully you can hear it.
Welcome to the Recycle Coach mobile app, used by over 1,500 cities in North America to empower residents not only to recycle better, but to understand their local waste and recycling rules. At its core, Recycle Coach is a robust and powerful communications platform where cities are able to keep residents in the know and action quick responses when residents need them. Our What Goes Where search bar is the cornerstone of our recycling education platform. This is located prominently at the top of the app's home screen so residents can easily search our material database by typing out their query or taking a picture of any item to find out its proper disposal through our image recognition software. When a resident searches a term, such as cardboard, all relevant materials will be displayed in a menu where you can tap to choose the correct type of cardboard you're looking for. While we have over 400 materials in our database, we include over 15,000 synonyms for these materials, making it easy to direct residents to the correct disposal method for their item. Once you've chosen your intended material, information directly from your municipality's program will appear. As you scroll down, you will also be able to tap for more information about collection requirements, drop-off locations or depots, and even drop-off events when applicable. Below this information, you provide the opportunity for municipalities to add drawer links to provide additional information or link to websites that are pertinent to that material's disposal. Through our calendar feature, residents can see their waste and recycling collection schedules. They just tap on the date to find out more information about their pickups and to set reminders, so they never miss a collection. We also provide a centralized report a problem tool for municipalities that is fully customizable. By tapping on the help icon at the bottom of the screen, residents can report a variety of problems such as a missed pickup, damaged cart, and more. The information reported is sent directly to the proper channels to get the issue fixed quickly. What makes Recycle Coach unique is our ability to take all this powerful, hyper-local content and turn it into learning activities. For example, our education team creates a weekly We Wanted to Know question on the app's home screen to engage users. The answers are programmed directly from your What Goes Where configuration, and then cities can use the data to power marketing campaigns. Residents can engage with our recycling fundamentals and misunderstood materials modules by watching videos and taking quizzes to earn a digital badge. Our mobile platform is always loaded with interesting blogs, lessons, and interactive features to keep residents excited about recycling, sustainability, and the circular economy. Lastly, Recycle Coach continues to lead the way with engagement. Our Recycle Right game is a 4-level interactive swipe game that uses your local waste and recycling rules as the answers. Recycle Coach is ready to help enhance all of your education and outreach for a greener tomorrow.
So we've built our app over the years to continue for different generations, and I think Carter nailed that in his presentation a lot around from youth to right up to boomers and seniors, of being able to use this tool and learn something from it. And the reality is most people come first to find out what day their garbage day is, what day their recycling day is. And we've got some of our coordinators in Jersey, you may have heard me say this throughout the conference, but they get up and say, we've heard Recycle Coach saves marriages. And it's because they've never missed a collection, who's responsible to take the bin out. And that's truly how we really get the resident on board the first time. And then we start layering in that education, what we call implicit learning, as we start layering in activities and learning activities and games and tools to really have that, what we like to call cocktail conversation. The did you know to your neighbors, that why do I have to empty, why does my coffee cup have to be emptied? And we're living in a world where it's yes, but why? And that's really how we design our education. In fact, the voiceover is our education lead. Her name is April Mandusik, and she was a high school teacher in Chicago, and now she lives in Toronto because her husband took a position at the University of Toronto. So she leads our education activities, and she's begging to come meet you all, and this is her home state. So what did the state actually buy? And there's a pamphlet. If you've seen it, I see some out already. Please take one with you. The state has invested in what's called our essentials package, where we layer on that communication vessel, that utility of calendar and what goes where, and education. And so we're going to go through some of those features today. The first is the collection schedules. This is probably the biggest part of the implementation, is ingesting those schedules, and we work in different formats. We can work with GIS systems, we can work with list-based, we can work with polygons and maps, we can work with FTP servers. We've seen it all. You heard in the video we have 1,500 cities. We're probably actually now closer to 1,600 cities as of a couple deals that just came in recently. And so we manage those through about 200 agreements. So when a county comes on board, Lee County in Florida just came on board, that's like 8 new cities that are onboarding to Recycle Coach. And we work directly with whoever's responsible to manage that schedule. So sometimes it could be the hauler still, sometimes it can be the municipality itself, sometimes the county is responsible for recycling, but the city is responsible for trash. We'll get the data wherever we have to, and we have a lot of experience doing that. But residents then will have the ability to set reminders. The reminders come in-app, they can come via email, and we also have an add-on option if you wanted to enable text messaging. Then we start configuring the What Goes Where tool. And essentially, if you look at our model in Jersey, Jersey's had progressive recycling legislation since the 80s and a great curbside infrastructure, but everybody's allowed to do whatever they want. And that's okay. That's what our system was designed to do. And arguably, out of the 564 cities that could work with us, we work with 425 of them. We have data on specifically 425 recycling programs. It's very possible that's what the state is starting to access, is that information. Who does take glass? Who has an organics program? Caps on, caps off your bottles. Do people take tinfoil? All that kind of data is starting to be really important to the state as they look at different projects, legislation, EPR, things like that. And so we enable you the ability to customize really those 400 materials in about a dozen waste categories. So obviously, vehicle batteries, hazardous waste, right? Mattresses, bulky furniture or furniture. We adapt to how you present that to your residents. So if in your community you call trash refuse or garbage, but you say trash in Chicago, our system will be configured for what you say locally already. And the colors. So if your bins are pink for trash and purple for recycling, the buttons and the dots will be those colors. We want to be as localized as possible. What's really interesting about what we've done with our What Goes Where tool, and you've seen there's others on the market, there's the Waste Wizard, there's Recycle by City, is over our tenure in the digital space, we've crowdsourced 15,000 synonyms. We've done that legwork for you. So when you type in our database something like Pepsi, the synonyms for Pepsi will be Pepsi can, Pepsi bottle, Pepsi paper cup, but the parent material will be aluminum can, plastic bottle, paper cup. And so that, you don't have to sit and add those synonyms in. We actually track that data ourselves. In fact, we were trying to break the system a little at dinner last night to see if certain things were in there, which I can't repeat. We see a 99% search rate on our searches, and then we monitor what's not matching and we add it across the network. We rarely add a parent material, but we've had communities down in Florida. Never Google this. Red Tide Waste. They need to put this in. We are happy to work locally and do that. We're also the only platform, again, trying to make this accessible to different generations. I am not a TikToker. I am not a Snapchatter, but many people are. So image recognition has been really popular. A lot of our recycling coordinators say that they scan their kid. They take a picture of their kid and see what it comes up as. No, we do not have an adoption waste category. But what do you think comes up when you scan your kid?
Organic material.
No. Wrong answer, Claire. textiles, right? Metal, from glasses, they're holding their phone, electronics. So I'm pretty impressed with what our team has done. We've accessed just millions of images to create this image recognition database, so it's pretty cool. Then we start talking about inbound and outbound communication. So this starts to become, at the municipal, at the county level, really a vehicle for communication. And what our users are really used to is knowing if a truck is going to be late, if there's inclement weather, if there's a special event coming up, if there's a composting event, if there's a shredding event, and you have the ability to communicate. Once a user downloads the app and enables their notifications, or more importantly, enables reminders, they also become part of the notification platform. And so you have the ability, not only by zone, but by collection type. So if on this coming Thursday, the recycling truck broke down in zone 5, you only have to send that message out to zone 5 and recycling. So you have the ability to communicate out. You also have the ability to note it as an emergency notification as well. You have the ability to schedule them and create a communication, a way to keep residents informed. And many people I've asked them, like, what if a truck has broken down? What if it's inclement weather? What if, one of the things that they love in Jersey about this is, if there's a bad storm, usually the recycling coordinator is also the clean communities coordinator. They educate in that notification, please bring your bin in because it will blow away and cause litter. So bring it in and put it back out tomorrow. And that ability to have that one-to-one communication. But it's also important to get communication back from the resident, and that's with our report a problem tool that you'll have access to. And every tile on here is customizable. So if you want missed collections to go right to your hauler, we'll send them an email. If you have a C-click fix or a 311 reporting system, we'll create a ticket in that system. We don't want to create a new workflow. We just want to give residents another vehicle of how they can contact the municipality. And I would say it's probably even like there's about 40% of our municipalities that when I click I want to report a missed collection, it actually just hyperlinks to their 311 system. They want to get people back to their municipal website to fill out a ticket and have that relationship. For cities that don't have that, we work with small and medium-sized cities that don't have those tools. It's a fillable form like you see in the last tile there, and it goes into an email distro or wherever. So we'll work with you to configure however this needs to be configured. But what's been interesting is municipalities are like, well, I'd love if people could report an overflowing public garbage bin or recycling bin. I'd love if they could report a pothole, a broken street light. So all of that in your, again, hyper-local here, localized, in your municipality, you can decide what those tiles say and do. On the other side of it, for resident support from a technical perspective, our team actually does that. So if somebody's like, I'm not getting my notifications, I can't find my address, or more importantly, I don't know how to use this thing, can you help me? We have pretty much 24-hour support of Recycle Coach staff helping on the technology side so people get a good user experience. Because we know the minute something doesn't load or work, it's straight to the app review of this thing sucks. So we support residents one-to-one ourselves. Within the state contract, we also use we use a mixture of human translation and machine translation, but all of our content, the searchable stuff, the schedules, everything you've kind of seen so far is available in 24 different languages, and you at the local level and at the county level can decide 4 languages that we will turn on. So when that user first comes to set up and log into Recycle Coach, they'll be able to pick a list from a list of languages that you provide us. We think we just turned on Armenian because we signed Glendale. That's the biggest, Glendale, California. They have the biggest population of Armenians in the US. So we started to add more languages. So if you see one that you really need, give us some time, we'll get it implemented. But that's really great that the state included 4 languages for everybody on the package. So that's really the utility. That's how we're going to get people there. We're going to make their lives easier. We're going to save those marriages. We're going to communicate better, have a communication vessel. You don't have to wait for it to go up the chain of, town approval or city approval. We get on a social media site when the day's already over. You get to do this all in real time. And what you're not seeing today, folks, and which is the next demo when we all get on some webinars together and start implementing, is the back end of how you manage all this. And some of our county coordinators had a bit of a preview on, what day was that? Was that Monday night we all got together? So we have a really intuitive back end for you, and I'll show you a bit of the reporting today, but where you're going to do all this, be able to access all of this on your side of it, what the residents don't see. Super easy to use. We don't hand you We don't hand you a Cadillac and then, a placemat from a local restaurant. We've really made the tools for you easy as well. So we get the residents in, we tell them what day their bin day is, we educate them on materials, and then we start layering on that education. We start creating learning activities. And so, how? This is where we really shine as a software company, right? At our core, we're a software development company. We have our own developers. We're a staff of 15, mostly in Toronto. It's an exciting announcement. We have one in New Jersey. We're soon to have people here in Illinois. But what we really built is the brain engine, and the engineering piece is called CASI, Content Allocation System. So when you configure that what goes where tool, when you configure your schedules and what types of systems you have, right? So for example, if you don't have a curbside organics program, our system's not going to ask your residents about curbside organics unless you tell us to. So our system learns from your program and creates learning activities. And something as simple as a plastic pop bottle can be configured in 5 different ways based off of what's happening locally for you. And there's areas where they might have a water restriction and they don't want people to rinse. They just want them empty. Caps on, caps off. I mean, Walter, we were talking about this, he's like, just caps on everywhere. But believe it or not, there's still places that say caps off. And so our system adapts to that. Bottle skates, showing the closest place to return your bottles. I would hope at this point in our life, plastic bottles don't belong in trash. But we've seen that in smaller communities with Tetra Paks, for example, because they don't have the ability to process them and bring them where they go, so they do go in the trash. So our system uses this content allocation system to create all the learning activities that we have. And so we do a 52-week we wanted to know quiz question. We have the ability to actually preview those questions and the correct answer 4 weeks in advance in our system. We then create monthly blog content. So if we're doing, the best example on the blog content is we use smart content within the blog. So if we're talking about sustainable takeout and your program doesn't accept black plastic, for example, we'll note that within the blog at some point that, bring your own containers in or ask your restaurant to change because this isn't recyclable in your community. So we'll create content that, again, is all based off of how those what goes where rules are set up. You heard in the video about our recycling fundamentals and misunderstood material series. So this is where we start to get into yes, but why. And the yes, but why of what is contamination? Why are 2 recycling programs not the same? How many of you have had a call, in my old city where I used to live, I used to be able to do this, right?
Put batteries on top of my car.
Exactly. So the yes, but why type of content. So there's about a five-part video series, and they answer questions. They earn a digital badge. This is an opportunity for some grassroots contesting in your communities. We also spotlight the top 10 contributors to contamination. And as we work with you, we don't want to dictate to you what your top 10 are. We'll call you and say, what do you need some help with right now? We'll look at the data of what are people searching. What do you think the number 1 searched material across the U.S. was on Recycle Coach last year? Shout it out.
Plastic bag.
Mattresses. What do you think the number 2 was? Pardon? No, batteries. So we use that data. That's why, even though we put an emphasis on curbside recycling, that grid of us talking about other waste streams has become so important. We've started to expand that education because people aren't looking up what to do with the tuna fish can anymore. They're not looking up to do with the Pepsi can. They're really interested in what to do with construction and demolition material, styrofoam, right? I'm this old and this is far along in my recycling journey, and I just found out like 2 weeks ago in the city of Toronto we can put styrofoam in our recycling carts. I had no idea. It was like riveting because I always then brought it to the depot. Another data point we get in the onboarding is our onboarding survey. You can see a trend here. We're starting to collect a lot of data, a lot of insights, right? And so when a user first comes on, we start to gauge their confidence in recycling, what they know, what they don't know, and start to expose that data to you for programming and marketing. And so just another data set that we have. How many of you have gotten a call from a local school or an educator? I'm teaching recycling this week. What do you got for me? See a couple of heads nodding. We also have kids activity packs, 3 age groups, 4 different versions and series, holidays, America Recycle Days, things like that. It's a great way to just email it out quickly and say, here are some activity packs. But what I suggest is you go to our website. A lot of kids have Chromebooks in schools now or smartphones. Get the kids to download Recycle Coach, talk about materials, get them to go through the quizzes. It becomes a programming tool for you when you're in schools, but also for teachers who are calling last minute. How do we promote this thing? Great. We wish we had millions of dollars in marketing, but we don't. And I love hearing you're boosting videos and you're looking at digital analytics. Within your package is also a marketing repository, a marketing support tab with over 1,000 PSAs ready to go. And how we've designed this is, for example, one of the topics in there is coat hangers, metal coat hangers, right? Don't put them in recycling, put them in trash. And you have to use your knowledge when you go through our repository to be like, yeah, that applies to me, that doesn't apply to me. But when you go into the metal hangers folder, it's sized for Facebook, Twitter, I'm never calling it X, Twitter, Instagram. There's an 8.5 by 11 poster. There's a 320 by 50 digital banner, and then there's an AI file. So you can grab those assets ready to go and post in seconds, or you can give them to your designer and you can localize them with your logo, your material, your content. And it's 50-50 what people do. We then, every month, send out what are called seasonal assets. So I love the pumpkin smash. I'm coming. Like, I need to come for a pumpkin smash. That's so cool. But we, for example, around Thanksgiving and Halloween, we put out content that you can use on your socials and in your marketing that is seasonal. So 4th of July, proper disposal of fireworks. Christmas, tanglers and, Christmas light stuff. So we're constantly updating our portal to also have seasonal assets for you as well. So the reality is, if you build it, will they come? I'm really happy to say that when we've put Recycle Coach into communities, we may be out of that 200 agreements that we manage over the 1,500 cities, we maybe lose one a year. And it's really because there's been a staff change, they're not engaged, it's not, it's not you, it's me kind of type of thing. During COVID, obviously, many of you probably in this room were deployed to other responsibilities, but usually if you build it well and it becomes a part of your always on strategy, they will come and they will use it. And Louisville is one of our, just shining stars of when you type recycle, I need recycling information and your city name, that it's well placed on your website, people will use it. People will get used to using it. It looks like it belongs on your website, and it becomes your one source of truth. And I love talking about a good launch story. And there was really impactful in your presentation of showing people where their materials go and actually showing them real live examples and closing the loop. And I think that's one of the most important things you can do with technology like ours is expose all of this data that you're going to have access to. But here's Charleston County in South Carolina that launched with us recently. And, they're frustrated. They're frustrated this is coming through in their blue bins and their recycling bins, and they're exposing it and getting people to get easy guides by using Recycle Coach. We made the local news. I wasn't featured. That's okay. But, here's the local news in Charleston talking about Recycle Coach. So good press. We will give you press templates. We will give you that help and that. But then there's the whole movement of getting young people involved in easy video work. We don't need fancy cameras anymore. Lady Gaga shot a whole music video with an iPhone. It was a publicity stunt and a marketing exercise for Apple, but it worked. And so here's our friends at University of California, Santa Cruz, launching Recycle Coach. And the video is pretty funny. You can see I love this. I've put my seal of approval on it. But somebody comes out behind the bin and is like, don't put that there, download Recycle Coach. You can have fun with the brand because it's for you now to use in your community. And this just echoes kind of what City of Chicago's done. This is St. Johns County in Florida talking about our annual knowledge survey, but then closing the loop on the results. So let's tackle some common recycling misconceptions. This was data-driven. Yogurt containers in this community, yes, they're recyclable. Sticky notes, you bet, toss them in a recycling bin. Prescription medicine bottles, absolutely. These were the questions in our annual knowledge survey that we put out to our users, and they're using the response rate that St. John's scored an impressive 72% correct answers, just a smidge below the average of 73%. Way to go, St. Johns County. We see so many communities have fun with our brand, truck wraps, Earth Day events. We branded some crayons with a QR code, so, start your activity pack, take home pamphlets for community events and stuff. We're here to help. So we just earned this big state contract. We're here. We're not going to forget about you. And I'm really excited to announce, beyond our awesome customer success team led by Carly Lester back there, Carly's here with me from Toronto, we're actually hiring 2 people in Illinois. The job postings are going up today, so that there's a local resource. And that's why we've been so successful in Jersey, is because we've gotten involved locally. We're on the board of ANJAR, which is the IRF in Jersey. We're the co-founders of the New Jersey Sustainability and Conference, New Jersey Sustainability in Motion Conference, where everybody comes and gets their continuing education credits. We speak regularly about product updates at county meetings and things like that. So we're here to stay. We're coming in hot. We're going to be here. You're going to get sick of us. And our customer success model, I'm not going to just read all this to you, but we're here to help with onboarding. We keep you updated of what's happening at our company. We like a quarterly check-in to see, hey Claire, how are things going? What are your challenges? We strategize resident engagement. You know what works best for your residents. We don't. And then, provide ongoing training and support. In fact, Carly and her colleagues, for the What Goes Where tool, for the configuration of the What Goes Where tool, host a weekly standing training, because you're going to get this thing all set up, and then you're going to have a change in 3 months, and you go, oh man, I don't remember how to do this. Great, sign up for one of our weekly trainings, or we'll do one-to-one. So that will exist as well. And really, I really loved Alice's presentation yesterday talking about values. And as I'm a young and new president at this company, I'm like, do we have values? Do we have this all figured out? And then I remembered, yes, we did figure this out recently. And it's really about our commitment to you and your commitment to us. But we're on your side. We'll lead the way. We're collaborative in communication. We want to do good as a company. And your commitment to us, hopefully, is you're going to ask questions and use our insights, advocate, get the word out, loop us in, be transparent with what's happening in your communities. So, who's on board? Great, we're ready. So, while we hire here, we're happy to support you from Toronto. You can email successgroup@recyclecoach. It's on the pamphlet. But this is a lot of text for a slide. This is not my usual. But these are some of the things that we're going to ask you to get ready when you're getting ready to enable. I can send this out to you, but it's, who manages the collection schedules? How do you get access to them? Who performs the collection? Is it in-house? Is it contracted out? Who's in charge of your website? We're going to need them to deploy JavaScript. We can provide security information. I think it's great to collaborate with your communications team from the get-go. Hey, communications department, state agencies paying for this. There's a lot you can get involved in here to make your life easier. It's a lot of plug and play where you can make it your own and create it to a more local experience. And really important, do you have an existing digital tool? What does this mean for that? And I'm happy to have those conversations with you. Do you work with an existing digital platform already? Do you already have an app in your community? Let's talk about it. Let's see how we can integrate. Maybe you've already done the work. But please don't forget about us. And so as we grow in the state of Illinois, we don't want FOMO. We want to be involved in your conferences. I've already committed to coming to something in October in Bloomfield, but we'll get more involved in the IRF. We'll see if it makes sense to come to the League of Municipalities, things like that. Invite your local resource to county meetings. If you get your county, if the county comes together and brings the local recycling coordinators together, if the county coordinators get together, we've seen a lot of success, but we don't want FOMO. We want to join you and support you. Thanks so much for having me. It's great to meet everybody.